What's up, nerds? Welcome to Cool Nerd Show. This is our new current movie review that we're doing, entitled Spoiler Warning. As the title says, we are going to get into spoilers for Captain America: Brave New World, but we will have a short spoiler-free section. With that, I am Steve Trezza, your host, joined by Scott. You're muted. That I didn't hear any of that.
I'm not muted. Am I muted?
No, but your Scott Burnett didn't come through for some reason.
Well, I'm Scott Burnett.
Okay, now I can hear you.
Okay. Been having audio issues.
We have been having a little bit of audio issues coming up here. But anyway, Scott, how you doing?
Not too bad. We went to see Captain America on Thursday, so not as fresh in the brain, but, you know, not to bury the lead here. Liked it.
And I went yesterday. Yesterday was Saturday. We were recording this on Sunday. Overall, I didn't hate it. I enjoyed things about it, but it wasn't in my favorites or anywhere close to my favorites of the Marvel movies. But I did like things about it. So we will get into it.
Before we get into it, I feel like I'm taking fucking crazy pills because I a little context for new viewers who we've been doing this for a while, but haven't been doing it for a while. If that makes any sense. Back in the day, big Marvel hater, right here, huge, massive Marvel hater. I was loyal to the original DCEU, OG, the three, the holy trinity of Man of Steel, BVS, and Justice League. So I was a Marvel hater, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's not that deep. Go to these movies, turn your brain off, and have fun. Stop, blah, 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 blah." And then I finally do that. In my old age, I'm like, screw it. It's just movies for kids. I'm going to turn my brain off and have fun. And everybody's like, this movie, remember they're nitpicking. And I'm just like, I enjoyed it. What the hell's going on?
Scott's on the flip side of Marvel, really.
Yeah.
It's like people...
Really, I just feel like I'm never going to catch up. I'm like, yeah, I enjoyed this. And everybody's like, you're dumb. This is bad. And I'm just like, what the hell?
So real quick, before we get into it, Captain America: Brave New World, it was released February 14th, official release date. Although, you know, some people like Scott saw it on Thursday, February 14th, 2025, which is Valentine's Day.
Late Valentine's Day movie that guys are going to drag their girls to.
Oh, yeah, totally. It was directed by Julius Ona, I think is how you say his name.
He did the Cloverfield Paradox, which rocked.
I hate the Cloverfield Paradox. What? That movie is awful.
It was dope. What are you talking about? All right, maybe we'll do
10 Cloverfield Lane is way better than Cloverfield Paradox.
Well, that's because 10 Cloverfield Lane wasn't a Cloverfield movie.
It takes place in the Cloverfield universe.
Yeah,
it's got Cloverfield in the title.
They attached it to a different movie to make it Cloverfield.
I thought the Cloverfield Paradox was really bad. Like, yeah.
We never agree, ever.
So yes, he did do that. He also did a bunch of movies I've never heard of before. Loose, Avicii, Avicii, I guess, is the DJ. So there's a music video. The Girl Is in Trouble. Big Man. Big Man's a short. Okay. So yeah, Cloverfield Paradox, I guess, is what he's known for. This movie was written by 5 people. So that
people.
Yeah, that's kind of where I think some of the problems that I have lie. Rob Edwards, Malcolm Spellman, Dallin Mousson, Julius Onath, the director, and Peter Glantz all contributed to the the screenplay.
Being a writer and having your last name be Spellman, like you're pigeonholed into your career, I think, right?
Yeah.
You can't not be a writer with the last name Spellman.
Spellman.
Captain America's sidekick. Spellman.
So initial thoughts, spoiler free, Scott, what did you think? I know you said you liked it, but good. Yes, a little bit more.
I went into it, reviews were ass, I was expecting ass, and I was like, all right, I felt like this and Thunderbolts are like, going into it, I was like, oh, these are the remnants of that old bit of Marvel, like where everybody's been kind of hating on it, and now like with Fantastic Four, I feel like it's a course correct and a ship rating. So I was like, all right, we just got to get through this and Thunderbolts, and then we're good to go. Mutant Saga and all this other cool cosmic bullshit. So I went in, I was like, reviews are ass. I'm just going to go see it because we're reviewing it. That's all I wanted to do. And I was like in there nitpicking. He does like a superhero landing in the beginning. I'm like, how would he do that? He's just a normal man. And it was just like,
that's a lot of my nitpicks in this movie too.
Yeah. And like me and my wife went to see it and we looked over at each other at almost the same time. And we were like, we are enjoying this. And I like the little mystery to it. I like the story of Sam not giving up on his friend. I like the new Falcon. I thought I was going to hate the new Falcon. They released a couple of clips leading into it, and they chose the two worst scenes in the movie. And I was like, oh, this is going to be ass because just based on the clips. I like the new Falcon. He was funny, charming. I didn't expect to like him. I was like, oh, quippy sidekick. Go figure. Thoroughly liked it. Like, you could tell there's reshoots and maybe there was an initial story there that didn't get told. But yeah, like I turned my brain off. I had a lot of fun. It's like action was cool. There was a cool Top Gun scene. Everybody saw the Red Hulk in the trailer. Red Hulk scene was dope. There's no spoilers there. But I mean, if we're doing a quick reaction, I think they should have hid the Red Hulk a bit.
Yeah, in like you mean in like the trailers and stuff like that?
Yeah, those butts and seats over storytelling.
Yeah,
and I'll get into that in the spoiler area. But like, if they didn't show Red Hulk in the trailer, I don't know how you sell this movie without.
That's why they did it exactly.
Red Hulk. You can't just be like Captain America and stay tuned.
Yeah, it's just new Captain America. Look at him.
Well, like if you could imagine going into this movie blind of the Red Hulk, I think it would have
popped way better.
Word of mouth would have went out like wildfire, and I think they would have gotten butts and seats anyway, just the second week.
Yeah,
but
so this movie had a $180 million budget, which is like pretty crazy how far we've come with movies because that's insane. 20 years ago, $180 million budget is like unheard of.
That feels low for modern superhero movies.
It's nowadays, yeah, which is it's just crazy how far we've come now.
I think like Superman has like a $380 million budget.
Yeah.
Wow. Crazy like that.
I mean, factor in inflation too, I guess.
Yep.
Movie starred Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, Harrison Ford as President Thunderbolt Ross, Danny Ramirez as Joaquin Torres, who's the new Falcon, Shira Haas as Ruth Bat Saraf, Carl Lumbly as Isaiah Bradley, and Tim Blake Nelson as Samuel Stearns. Also Giancarlo Esposito as Sidewinder, and I'm not going to go through the entire cast, but those are like the people you kind of need to know about, I guess. So my thoughts, yeah, I like things about it. I think it does a decent amount of world building. Finally acknowledges some things in the Marvel universe that I've been waiting for them to acknowledge.
Cool.
Say that again.
Cool stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah,
like really cool stuff.
You're cutting out here and there.
Am I?
I don't know why. Now I can't hear you at all.
Uh-oh.
Oh, now I do. Okay, you're back.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, there was some cool stuff. There was, as the story as a whole, I kind of felt like it was just slopped together. Like I kind of feel like it was just like, and then this happens, and then here's this plot device, and then this, and like there wasn't as much build up for me for like a big payoff. It's like we're gonna take. All right, we'll get into it because I'm gonna get to spoilers if I keep talking. So with that, let's get into the plot now. I do have to say that I did go into this movie after a day of day drinking for a birthday party pub crawl, and I held back because everyone knows that I love a good pub crawl and I love day drinking.
Are we getting into spoiler territories now?
We're going to, because I'm going to jump into the plot.
With a spoiler warning?
I mean, sure. The name of the show is Spoiler Warning.
Well, we're kicking into spoilers now if you haven't realized.
Yes. But I had some, light beers before going into the show. I wasn't drunk, but I was definitely feeling it by the time I got to the theater. So I'm going to do my best to recap this plot.
Recap. That's what Sam Wilson is.
But
he's recap.
All right, so we start off, we get Thunderbolt Ross, and he is now the president. People are, he's bringing people together. I think that was like his campaign slogan or something like that. Bring people together. And we see him coming out to make his, I guess it's his victory speech, kind of. And everyone's like chanting, Ross, Ross, Ross. And so he comes out, says that he's going to bring people together. And then flash forward from there, we get 5 months later. And Thunderbolt Ross is sending Sam Wilson, the new Captain America, on a mission to catch Sidewinder. And he's going to send SEAL Team 6 to go find this package. We don't know what this package is, but they stole this package. And before they send SEAL Team 6, Sam's like, nah, I got it. Me and the new Falcon, Joaquin. So they come after Sidewinder. Sidewinder turns out to be Giancarlo Esposito. There's this whole big chase scene. I forget exactly where this takes place. Somewhere not in America.
I think it was in South America somewhere.
South America? Yeah, that seems about right. There's this whole action sequence with Falcon coming in and sorry, I'm so used to Sam Wilson as Falcon that it's gonna like take a minute for me to call him Captain America. So new Cap coming in, he's like busting down doors. There's this really cool scene where they break through like a doorway and there's all these guys that are there, and he kind of throws the shield and like hits a bunch of them, and then he fights through them and picks up the shield again. And then there's this fight scene against kind of like the bigger henchmen where they're fighting, and he's kind of getting his ass.
Copperhead.
Is it?
Yeah.
Didn't we get?
Well, it's a Serpent Society, so maybe it's someone from the Serpent Society. I think it's Copperhead.
I thought we got Copperhead in Luke Cage.
But I think that guy was supposed to be Copperhead.
Okay. Or was that Luke Cage was Diamondback?
Diamondback, yep.
And Cottonmouth?
Yeah. Copperhead is a like a big burly. He's part of the Serpent Society.
Okay. Which is what all these are part of. Throwback to Luke Cage. All these snake-themed villains. So
They never said it was supposed to be Copperhead, but that was like before.
That's who he is.
Before they cut everything out. Like Seth Rollins was supposed to be in it as one of the Serpent Society members.
Okay, and they cut him out.
They cut him out, yeah.
Ah, damn. That would have been cool. So they go in, Giancarlo gets away, Sidewinder gets away, but they retrieve the package. We still don't really know what this package is.
I just have to say, before we move on from this scene,
yeah,
the Captain America movies always do a really good job of visceral hand-to-hand combat, because that's basically all like the original Cap had.
Yep.
But like the shield sound is
Clone.
so satisfying in these movies, and it's just been a bright spot. It's just like it lets out a satisfying like point, like you could almost see the comic book pop up. But then it just really it was well done. That whole scene in like tight quarters and stuff, that it was choreographed well, and then the Copperhead scene wasn't. That one felt clunky, so you could kind of tell where some new stuff was, and wasn't.
And like, Cap lands, and then he has like these new wings that he got from Wakanda that gets explained somewhere around this time.
The whole suit does, I think. That's why he can absorb the impact. Okay,
because he lands, and then he's like, "Wait for it," and then there's like that, like the shock wave comes and.
Because he breaks the sound barrier. Lands, it has a second, and then like the sonic boom follows him, so like
knocks everyone down.
And so like MCL meniscus PCL blown the fuck out if he does not have Wakandan tech in it. Like you have to imagine that the whole suit has it, otherwise it's just like he lands and his knees turn to fucking Nesquik powder, and it's just fun. Like like it's like the whole suit has to have Wakandan.
That's the only way this makes sense.
Yeah. which is cool though. I like that. Like it tied in and it would like if you're not gonna give him super serum, you gotta give him something, right?
Yeah. So then we get. I had a point that I was going to make here, and I can't remember what. Oh, I don't really like the CGI here.
I hate nano helmets.
Yes, like it feels
Fuck nano
cheap.
helmets.
I'm kind of over it. It's like an easy way for them to just like CGI something onto someone's face, and you can tell that it's just bad CGI. And the wings were CGI too, and he lands and like nano helmets off of his face, and I'm just like, come on. I don't know.
I rewatched Civil War, and I'm rewatching Winter Soldier. I don't know why I did it in reverse, but there's a scene in Civil War where T'Challa takes his helmet off and sets it in the snow. Like it was a cool visual of him just like the snow crunching and then walking up. And then the scene in Winter Soldier where he's like put the shield down, fight like a man, and he unclips the helmet and like you hear it like a clunk when he throws it down. Like that was a modern Marvel movie. They'd just be like,
yeah,
and it would just go. And it's just like they have the suits already. Just make the helmet take offable.
And that's right around the time where they started using the nano helmet stuff, because that's when we got the weird like Tony Stark.
Yeah, the nanotech started with Black Panther, and then everybody, your mother had it. And it's just like, why can everybody with a super name get access to this technology? Like Wakandans are super reclusive, and Iron Man is like one of the smartest people. Like maybe Reed Richards and Iron Man should have it. And
well, they're sharing their technology with everyone else. But also, I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the mission's a huge success, and then we have the new Falcon, Joaquin, wants to be Falcon. I guess he's like...
He's not walking. He's not Joaquin. He's flying.
I guess he's not officially the Falcon yet, but they gave him like the Falcon wings, and he's the sidekick. So he's the Falcon. But he's like, I want to be the Falcon. And then Sam Wilson's like, well, to be the best, you got to train with the best. And then they bring him to Isaiah Bradley's boxing gym, who Isaiah Bradley, he was introduced to us in Falcon and Winter Soldier. He was like,
no idea who he was.
Yeah.
Because I did not watch that show. I was just like, he seems of significance. I'm sure he's been around before.
He was a big character in Falcon and Winter Soldier. He was basically like the first Captain America they gave the drug to, and then because he was black, he got like thrown in prison, like subject of like of racial, racial scapegoating. And then he sat in prison for, I don't know, X amount of years or whatever. Yeah, 30 years. So, yeah, he's this like 90 to pushing 100-year-old man who's also a super soldier and just owns his own boxing gym now. And then we get them kind of playing like flag tag, where he puts these flags on the back of him, and Sam Wilson's like, I can get these off of him. I don't know, some like weird training sequence where Isaiah Bradley's like hucking fucking
punching
bags at him, and he's dodging them and like taking the football flags off of his back. It was okay. I didn't dislike this scene.
It's just to establish that Sam Wilson can still go toe to toe with it, like empowered people without being one. It was fine. I get it. I actually like this scene a lot. It was kind of endearing with like Joaquin, just like, yeah, you need me to make the text bigger on your phone, like just giving him like the young guy versus old guy thing. Like,
yes.
Like I said, the guy was charming and the character interactions worked for me. Like, it was enough that it just made me shut my brain off and appreciate the movie. And I didn't clock a lot of the reshoot stuff, which I would normally do, because I was just not looking for it. Like, it did a good job in the beginning to just hook me, and I was just like, cool, I'm along for the ride.
I think right around this time, Sam gets a call from the president. He's like, I got to take this. President congratulates him on retrieving the package and invites him to this conference meeting that they're going to have. Sorry, I'm looking over my notes here. Yeah, this presidential dinner. And Sam's like, I'll come under one condition. You got to invite Isaiah Bradley. So Isaiah's initially like, no, I'm not going to that shit. I've been sitting in an American prison for X amount of years. So Captain America convinces him to come. I'm going to do this the whole time. It's just for years I've been calling Sam Wilson the Falcon, and now he's Captain America, and we have another Falcon, and it's going to get confusing. So I'm sorry for anyone who's watching or listening. So next scene, we see he convinces Isaiah to go. They're like in the limo, getting ready. They walk in to the presidential dinner. Isaiah's fumbling with his phone. He's like, my phone's on the fritz. And
something an old guy only says.
Yeah, they take a picture together. And then the president's assistant, I can't remember her name in this movie. Not her, soon that we find out he has a ex-Black Widow assistant, but her other assistant.
Yeah, the one that knows Sam.
Which is Lila Taylor. She comes out and says to Sam, the president wants to speak to you, and he's holding this meeting. So Sam walks in. The president kicks everyone out except for Sam and his like basically bodyguard, who is this ex-Black Widow, Ruth Batsaref, I believe is how you say her name.
Yeah.
And the president says, I want you to restart the Avengers.
Yeah.
Which this goes nowhere past this. It's like, I want you to restart the Avengers, and then they never revisit. I think Sam says it to Falcon once, like, president asked me to restart the Avengers. And then that's it. Nothing else.
I think that was the idea.
Okay.
These movies happen across multiple movies, or the plot points get spread out over multiple. That's what you get with a connected universe. Like the Secret Wars is going to happen. What would, like, if they restarted the Avengers in Captain America: Brave New World, it wouldn't make sense.
No, but then it's like you get in this weird, because he's like, I want you to restart the Avengers, and Cap's like,
the events of the movie then take off.
But then Cap's like, we're gonna disagree, and I'm gonna have to. What happens if we disagree? And like, I'm gonna have to work with you. And then he walks out and tells Joaquin / New Falcon that the president asked him to restart the Avengers, and then we'd have to work for him. But like, they're already working for him. So what's going on here? I don't know. It just seemed weird.
They seemed more like freelancers rather than like the Sokovia Accord idea of the Avengers, where it's like, we need the approval of XYZ before we could send you in. It's like, what happens if we need to go in, but you don't see it?
Yeah.
Or we go in and you like that whole bit.
Political drama.
It seems like, yeah, that's what this is. And it seems like Captain America was just kind of like, an extra tool to call in, when necessary.
Yeah.
But it's just like, yeah, I get it. Like, let's restart the Avengers, and then all of a sudden, boom, not to get ahead of it, but boom, the events of the movie happen. And then you have to go deal with that. But now you still have this thing, like, we need to restart it. But now the guy is, not the guy anymore. So
the next scene, Ross comes out and he gives an address. They finally acknowledge the fucking giant celestial in the middle of the ocean that has gone unacknowledged for several movies now.
That's because a bunch of you nerds hated the Eternals and they didn't want to bring it up again. Eternals was dope. I'm going to save this for more towards the end, but I am glad that they, although weird, that they chose a bunch of movies that did not perform well to make a sequel off of and like have callbacks on. I'm glad that they at least like, I hate when movies do this thing where they'll make a bad movie, like franchises where they'll make a bad movie, and Terminator, for example, and they're just like, we're just going to reboot it with the next one. And then that one's bad. And they're just like, we're just going to try again. And they just like completely forget about what they just made like 3-4 years ago. And they don't have any callbacks to it. So I just appreciate it's like, okay, this wasn't as good as we thought, but we're still going to call back to it. They did it not too long ago with Thor: The Dark World 2. I think in Endgame, they had like the callback to Thor: The Dark World, right? Yeah.
So it was either Endgame or Infinity War. I can't remember. But anyway, yeah. I appreciate when these Marvel movies that like, even if it's a bad movie, they're still like, okay, we're still going to reference this because it's still part, and we're not going to just completely abandon these poor performing movies. Ross is given his address. They finally acknowledge the giant celestial, and here's where it hits that it is rich in adamantium, a new metal
which this, like, I didn't clock it in the movie, but thinking about it afterwards, if adamantium's in this world, then wouldn't X-Men already be in the world? And I thought X-Men was going to be an Elseworld thing. And then if they're going to do Weapon X, then they have to really fast track it, because then they're going to have to do a younger Wolverine at Weapon X program.
Unless, well, Wolverine is still a lot. Like, he doesn't necessarily, he could live forever. Like, he's, you know, he could be old, whatever, but.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, if they just discovered adamantium, Wolverine couldn't have existed until just now, or until the Celestial.
Well, he couldn't have had an adamantium skeleton. He could have still had the bone skeleton.
True.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, he might be, as the MCU timeline is expanding, whatever, like,
Might be there.
he might also be getting his adamantium skeleton, like, at the same time that this is happening in the MCU world.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. When we get to the part later in the movie, my brain just did a light bulb thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And-
just Japan.
No. What could be the early, kind of like rumblings of a Weapon X program might have been in this movie at one point.
Okay. But yeah, very possible.
Yeah.
So President Ross, Harrison Ford he's the first person in the MCU to say adamantium, I think.
Yeah. Oh.
And everyone's like, you know, everyone is, oh shit, yeah, adamantium. I know most of the nerds in theaters are like, yes, finally. Not only are they acknowledging this thing, but it's also made of adamantium. So this starts this new adamantium trade that's happening around the world. It's like the US and Japan and France and India are vying for the new mineral adamantium. And at this time, everyone's phone, or a bunch of people's phones, go off in the crowd, and Isaiah stands up, takes several shots, assassination shots.
Music. It's not the phone. The phone happened earlier.
That's right. The screen happened earlier. The music plays Mr. Blue Sky, and then several people attempt to assassinate the president. And Isaiah being one of them, Sam Brink was the one who brought him there.
Come in like Clippy, like Microsoft clip art, like every once in a while when shit reminds me when you're talking. Why were people so not responsive to the idea of a brainwashing happening when it has happened already?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if I'm going to nip it, so I'm bringing it back.
That's why we're here. We're here to nitpick about things like this.
So, like, Winter Soldier happened, and everybody was aware of the Winter Soldier being a thing. So, like, when it's like
Avengers 1,
he's like, oh, I don't remember, and it's just like, all right, everybody heard the song go off, and then everybody started shooting. So it's like, let's use our thinking brains here. Isaiah's not. He probably is not the guy. Like, and then it went back, like when his phone was on the fritz, it was like flashing in his face. So it was like a brainwash. The song triggered it, and it's like, okay, people have been brainwashed and then triggered into just being assassins pretty frequently in this universe.
That's true.
So, but people are like, how did this happen? It's like,
yeah, later on in the movie, like in the next few scenes, Sam comes up to the president and like tells him like, oh, he's been brainwashed, and Harrison Ford just like poshes that. He's like, yeah, okay.
Since when?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, like a couple years ago.
Meanwhile, like half the Avengers, not half, but you know, all of S.H.I.E.L.D. gets brainwashed in Avengers 1 by Loki and the Scepter, and yeah, we have Winter Soldier and a ton of other things. So yeah, that was one of the things I was like, okay, I get this is a plot device to move the plot forward, but it just seems a little.
Just be a little consistent in if you're gonna have a connected universe, it's gonna be hard to write these movies 16, 17, 20 movies down the line when you have to like integrate all of the other bullshit that you did in those other 20. But it's hard, but you got to do it. Like, otherwise, what's the point? You can't just be like, brainwashing is this new thing when it's been happening since 2012.
Yeah. So then Isaiah tries to escape. This scene was pretty cool. This like chase scene. This was the scene that kind of hooked me into the movie a bit. Like there's that part where he throws like the marble table at the Secret Service, and then he breaks through the window, and then Sam has to go chase him down, and then Sam kind of talks him down, and he's like, just just give up. He's like, I don't know what just happened. Sam doesn't want to go back, or Isaiah doesn't want to go back to prison because he's been there for however long. Sam's like, we'll get to the bottom of this. They arrest him. From there, Sam like forces his way into the president's bunker, which like he just brought this guy into this meeting, conference, whatever, who tried to assassinate the president. And here's Sam Wilson just walking on into this, like strolling on into the bunker, pushing like Secret Service men out of the way to get to President Ross. President Ross tells him to stand down. He's like, no, I don't trust you. And like, you got to look at the situation. You just brought this guy here and tried to kill me. So that was another, again, if we're being nitpicky thing, that's like, he would have never made his way down. They would have never let him come in,
But this is one of the first times where you see General Ross or President Ross now. The whole crux of his character in the movie is like, has he turned over a new leaf or is he just faking it?
Yeah.
So you see him like, kind of, he's got this internal battle of like, he's like, I want to be the old Thunderbolt Ross and come at him with a lot of fire. But he's like, I have to be calm and presidential. And he's like, listen, you're lucky you're not in a cell. Like, let's just figure this out. But like a little bit of old Ross keeps popping in and out, which I like. I like that they gave him these two sides and you're like, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy?
I thought Harrison Ford did a good job overall of just acting as President Ross in this movie. So Sam then later visits Isaiah in prison. On his way back from prison, he gets attacked by Sidewinder, who like launches a bomb in his car, blows it up, and he's just like, yeah, he's dead. Like no confirmation that we got his body or anything.
Stand by for confirmation of body.
Yeah. Target eliminated, I think is what he said. Target eliminated.
No, he said target's dead. Stand by for confirmation of body.
Yeah.
And then like he counted his chickens way before they hatched, or falcon before it hatched, if we're thinking about it.
There you go.
And then he like pops out, and then they get into some fisticuffs.
They do.
Well, a magnum versus a fist, because he had a big fucking gun, and it was loud in my theater.
Yes, I saw it in the Dolby theater, which like make the seats rumble, which I actually enjoy more than IMAX.
Yep,
I think. So that happens. Sam fucks up Sidewinder, and then they take him.
Well, Sidewinder doesn't go out like a bitch. He hits him with an axe in the stomach.
Yeah, that's true.
And he gives a full blade to his titty. Like it's in there. It should be in his lung. Possibly.
But Sam's like, I have Kevlar, whatever, Wakandan Kevlar armor or whatever, which I guess helped. Yeah,
but like then he pulls it out and it went all the way. The knife did. The axe, I think, because he mentions later that he's like, oh, normally people don't walk away from an axe to the gullet.
Yeah.
And he's like, I got Wakandan Kevlar perks of the thing. But it was like, what about the punctured lung? You for sure have
like, yeah, we don't have to put it over his heart. It's fine. Or his lungs.
Yeah, that knife goes all the way in. And I was just like, oh. And when he pulls it, you see it. Like he pulls it out. And it's like a hole. I'm just like, you're shrugging that off, huh? All right. Maybe you are a super soldier. And we don't know it yet.
I forgot to mention when Sam goes and visits Isaiah in prison, Isaiah's like, just leave me here. Like, and Sam says, no, I'm going to get you out. It's a promise. So
big Flash and his father vibes. I'm going to bring it back to.
Yeah, it was actually.
Every chance I get, listeners. So welcome back. I'm a fucking fanboy. Deal with it.
Sam, I believe this is the time where the phone rings for either for Sidewinder or one of his henchmen or something. And it's well, later we come to find it's the leader, but we don't know who it is at this time. Sam answers. He's able to track where the call was coming from. Sam goes back and looks at some of like the footage that had happened in of Isaiah attempting to assassinate the president, finds out like the flash on the phone had happened, and that's the mind control.
It feels like that should have been an immediate next step as it happened. Let's investigate this. Let's see what happens. Oh, all right, here it is. Like, why did Sam have to go in like independently and figure this out?
There's no investigation or anything like that.
Yeah, the first thing that would happen would be secure the president. The second thing that would happen would be like, let's go look at the footage.
Yep.
Like there would be 1 and 2, 1A and 1B of things that happened right after a president.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they're just like, nah, he's guilty. He was in prison for 30 years. Yeah, he's definitely guilty. So Sam knows that there's mind control. I think this is around the time where he tells President Ross that he's been mind. President Ross is like, yeah, okay, mind control.
What's next? Aliens?
So Sam finds the call for Sidewinder, traces it back to this base, Camp Echo, decides he's going to take New Falcon, and they're going to go there. On his way there, Ruth, who's the ex-Black Widow, the right-hand man of Thunderbolt Ross, President Ross, goes to the prison to try and interview Isaiah on her own and start her own investigation. As this happens, Mr. Blue Sky starts playing again. Prison guard gets brainwashed, kills some of the other suspects that were accused of shooting on the president, and then kills himself. She doesn't meet, like, Isaiah doesn't get killed, but then she still doesn't meet with Isaiah, I don't think.
Yeah, well, the whole reason why that happened was because the leader wanted to put Isaiah in danger.
And wanted Sam to go back.
To draw Sam and Joaquin from coming to Camp Echo 1.
I get that. But what I'm saying is the whole reason of Ruth going there was to interview Isaiah, which he doesn't die, and it still never happens.
Well, I think that once the 2 other prisoners get assassinated, the mission changed for her.
Okay.
Right? Like, and
I guess.
Sidetrack. When this lady first showed up on screen,
yeah,
I audibly laughed.
She's a very small lady.
She's so tiny, and she's supposed to be this badass. And I'm like, I'll buy Harrison Ford being a Red Hulk before in real life, not in MCU, before I buy this lady being able to fight anybody. She's like 4'11", 70 pounds. And that's being generous.
But Scott, she's a widow.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry her husband died. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what that has anything to do about it. But she reminds me
of the Black Widow.
I know. she reminds me of the principal of Kindergarten Cop.
I don't remember. It's been so long since I've seen Kindergarten Cop.
The little tiny principal. When you're editing, don't ignore it this time. Put in a clip of the tiny principal.
All right, I will.
Because I think it's got to be her daughter or something.
Okay, so moving forward, she calls Sam. Sam's like, no, this is what he wants. He wants me to go back. We're moving forward. We're going to Camp Echo to figure out what's going on there. They get to Camp Echo. They break in pretty easily. Like they just have to like bust open the I don't know, code pad, keypad. Yeah, to get into the door and like hotwire it. Do that pretty easily. They find a lab that's in Camp Echo.
Well, it's supposed to be a non-existent black site, so they figured like,
yes.
Like I'm sure there's
good to know.
Yeah.
They find the lab belongs to the leader, Samuel Stearns. Sam finds these pills that we find out later that the leader's been giving to Thunderbolt Ross. The leader then shows up, kind of like admits some of his plan a little bit. And then I'm assuming everyone on this black site has been brainwashed by the leader.
Yeah.
So,
well, because he was like initially there as a prisoner, and then he broke out and kind of took it over. And then this is where I was. Well, this is the part of the movie where I was like, "Oh, cool, I like this now." Like I was ready. I was ready to nitpick up until this, and I was like, "Oh, I like this," and I just kind of watched it. This is what I feel like could be the initial sparks of a Weapon X program. is
I
his
could
lab.
see that. Yeah, his lab.
Like, I'm just because he's just like, in there just doing random shit with like empowered people, and it's like,
And is this
okay.
where we find out who he is too?
yeah, so yeah, he kind of comes out of the shadow and like got the green brain head. And
Yeah. Throwback to the Incredible Hulk movie, all the way back. I like the Incredible Hulk too.
I do too, yeah. But I like the love the Incredible Hulk got. This is a instead of rapid firing off my nitpicks later in the thing, I'll just kind of sprinkle them in where they lie. This is where I was like, okay, I really like this where it's going, but why can't we have this in a Hulk sequel? Sorry.
This movie was basically a Hulk sequel.
It should have been a Hulk sequel. And this is a part of the movie where I realized I was like, does New Captain America have a bad guy?
Yeah, I don't know.
And I feel like they were like, all right, we want to make this Hulk sequel, but we have this Captain America movie. Give Captain America the Hulk bad
Villains.
guys and let's run with it. And I was just like, all right. Like, it feels like the Hulk should have some investment in this.
Yeah.
Like, Thunderbolt Ross is the president now. And it's like, shouldn't the Hulk care? Shouldn't Bruce Banner care about this?
Yes.
And the leader is popping back up. Shouldn't the Hulk care about this? And it's like very obvious that you could just put. I mean, you can't really swap Sam Wilson for the Hulk. It's a bigger guy.
Yeah.
You would in the
Or at least have him show up at the end or something to help out, you know?
Yeah. I don't know if it's still tied up with Universal or something weird like that. I don't know. But like, if this feels like just make the fucking Hulk sequel, like spend the money. Like,
yeah.
What are you doing? Like, not that I didn't enjoy it. I liked that the Incredible Hulk got its love, but I'm just like, the Hulk should be here.
Yeah.
He's just chilling somewhere. He's just like, oh,
yeah.
Look at all those skeletons in my closet falling out. Like, I'll just ignore them. Like, this is all the shit he should care about.
Yeah, and so for those who don't remember, back in the Incredible Hulk movie, we had Mr. Blue who helped the Hulk kind of figure out everything that was going on with him for like gamma radiation and helped him escape South America, I believe. It's been a while since I've seen that movie. Mr. Blue is Samuel Stearns, who later in the Hulk movie, he gets like knocked over or something. I think it's when the Abomination shows up and knocks him over and he falls down and injures his head, and some of the Hulk's like gamma blood seeps into his head and turns him into the leader. He was already smart, but now he's super smart and knows all these probabilities, but he's not that smart because throughout the movie, he was like, oh, there was only 11% chance that you'd come here. But like, he didn't prepare for that. He was like, oh, I thought you were going to do that. And it's such a low probability. I just didn't think you'd come here. And this happens like multiple times where he's just like, oh,
I on the statistics of it rather than being smart.
Yeah.
Like, he's not smart. He's just a statistics nerd.
It's like, damn, again.
He's really good at fantasy football, probably.
So that happens. He sends his brainwashed guards on him. At this time, Ruth then shows up. She kind of helps out with the guards. Then I guess the guards handcuff Sam and New Falcon as they get back to the car because Ruth's going to take them in.
Well, these are unbrainwashed.
The unbrainwashed guards. Yeah.
So they knock out all the brainwashed guards. Ruth comes in. She like bites their ankles or whatever. And they escape. And then when they get there, the fence hole that they cut to get in initially, there's like unbrainwashed guards who are like, we're gonna take you in. And then they eventually get brainwashed again.
Because the song plays again, and that's when Sam's like, you gotta let us free, and then she lets them free, and then they beat the newly brainwashed guards and make their escape. So Sam then also has these pills analyzed by
Duffy.
Hold on.
I think it was Duffy.
Dennis Dunphy.
Oh, Pam? Are you saying Pam? Dunphy? Duffy?
Yeah, Dennis Dunphy, who is like part of SEAL Team 6, I believe. He tells him about these pills. He's like, hey, analyze these. He has the president taking these pills or whatever.
He's supposed to be Demolition Man.
He is supposed to be Demolition. I was going to save that for trivia, but yes, Demolition Man, also known as D-Man.
No, his costume looks like Wolverine and Daredevil put together.
It does. It's pretty.
Wow,
it's pretty really ridiculous. It's like they didn't even try.
Oh my God.
I'm glad we didn't get that in this movie.
No, I really wish we did. Put a picture of it. It's like Wolverine's head and arms and Daredevil's chest.
They just didn't try at all.
They were like, well, merge them together.
Put a big D-Man on his. Doesn't it say like D-Man on his chest or something like that? Or it's just a big D?
It's a big D. Wow, this one specifically, I'm gonna save and put in Discord so you can put it. D-Man. This is just Wolverine and Daredevil put together. Holy shit.
So anyway, Sam gives D-Man these pills and is like, analyze these. He's got President Ross taking these pills. Or do we find out that President Ross is taking the pills yet? I don't remember.
He took them at the first scene you see him.
But does Sam know that at this point? Because I don't remember, or I don't know if he just found the pills and was just analyze them, or I don't know if because I thought he saw like President Ross's file and then sees the puts two one and one together. I could be wrong.
The way so he sees that President Ross has been at Camp Echo 1 voluntarily.
Yeah.
And so he goes to President Ross. He's like, why were you there? And he's just like, oh, you don't think this guy could hack files? And he's like, but this your blood was taken at Camp Echo 1. It's not a file that somebody stole. It's a file that somebody like accumulated. And he was like, I had a heart problem and he was creating these pills. And
that we find out later, right?
I think that's what I'm saying. He gives him the pills to analyze. The bit of the movie happens. He finds out that president has a heart thing and that he was taking the pills. And then a bit of the movie happens, and then you find out what the pills were.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was the time.
So also around this time, things get leaked. So the leader leaks to the media that this whole thing was set up. That
President Ross hired the Serpent Society to steal the Japan's adamantium, because that package in the beginning was the first harvested adamantium that Japan had harvested. He steals it. He hires
Serpent Society
to steal it and then gets it back.
Yeah, so that it could look like America was the hero and they could work with Japan to.
Yeah.
Yes.
The whole idea is that President Ross wants to sign a treaty that all of these nations share adamantium.
Yes. So that's his way of doing this, and this gets leaked. So Japan's pretty pissed, and Japan's like, we're not going to cut a deal with America if this is what happens.
Because Ross hops a jet to Japan to meet
to smooth things over with Japan and trying to smooth things over. Yeah.
And then they're like, look at this evidence we have. It says you initially stole it. So why would we
work with you? Yeah.
And they immediately go to Celestial Island to try to be like, fuck it, we're planting our flag and it's ours now.
Yeah. It's like, oh, all right, plan B. We're just going to take it. So the leader then also calls the president, because I guess he has his number, I'm sorry. So now we're going to Celestial Island. At this point, the brainwashing happens to two of the pilots, the U.S. pilots that are also coming onto Celestial Island. They start firing on the Japanese fleet that's also on their way to Celestial Island. The leader calls the president as this is happening to try and get him to unleash his inner rage.
Where you find out, I think this is the timeline where Sam figures out that the president has the heart medication.
Yes. Right prior to this. Because he's like, I had to go there. The President Ross says, I had to go there because I was dying with this heart issue, and he was the one that was able to cure me with this medicine.
And then this is also where you start to waver in your idea of President Ross, because you're like, all right, he turned over a new leaf, but he has this guy in a bunker somewhere. Like as a slave almost. Like he just keeps him. He was like, I gave him like hope that he'll be free once I become president. as long as he keeps making these heart pills. And I'm like,
but he's not free
guy.
yet. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I'm like, all right, are you turning over a new leaf, or do you have the leader tied up making you heart pills? Like, you got to pick one. I know healthcare is a bit expensive these days, but like, there's got to be other way. You're the president.
Yeah, exactly. I also love how that these heart pills. I think I left out a part too where we find out that the heart pills include gamma radiation, because then the leader goes to the camp that D-Man is at, Dennis Dunphy, and Dennis finds out that it's gamma because he has them analyzed, tries to call Sam back, but then the leader is just conveniently there and is just like, I'm going to use this plot device to up your heart and presumably give you a heart attack and tie up this loose end. So we never find out that President Ross is taking this gamma radiation pill that's eventually going to turn him into the Red Hulk.
Seen that, because like you see the perspective of Samuel Stearns where he's like, oh, I'm the hero of this story. And you're like, you just found out that Ross had him in a bunker somewhere. And you're like, yeah, like neither of you are good, but
yeah,
like,
exactly.
I get why you would do this. Like, he has a point.
So anyway, back to Celestial Island, where the U.S. brainwashed fighter jets are firing on Japan's fleet. And
original scene of this movie.
I'm sorry, what was that?
The original final scene of the movie.
Oh, really? It seems like that. So that's when we have the leader calling the president, telling Ross he wants to let his rage out. He kind of
really
like starts
shit.
Yeah, it starts to Hulk out a little bit, but then Cap and Falcon show up. They de-escalate the situation. You really want to talk?
He's basically dangling Betty in front of him.
Yes, because it's like, what is your daughter going to think of you?
Betty is the trigger, Martha, that sends him into this rage, or maybe takes him out of the rage. But Betty is like the linchpin, Martha, and he's just like on the phone, just like, Betty, Martha, what would she think about you? And then he starts to like, you see it. He's like crumpling the thing he's holding on, and it's just like, it's teasing. Like, this is a part of the movie that was really well built up, and like, if they didn't give it away in the trailer, the shit would have been like, what the fuck is happening to this guy? Like, is he the Red Hulk? And then the payoff would have been far superior. But he's like in a ship, so it's like, it's extra tense because you're like, if he hulks out in here, the ship is sinking and everybody's dead.
Yeah,
right. It's really tense and it's cool. And I like when a villain is like this weak little guy, but he's like very manipulative and it works. It's like Baron Zemo-esque, but like, this is another nitpick. It's like, if you're trying to make Captain America his own thing, why are you giving him the exact same like plot devices to overcome, right? I have a super soldier friend who I'm not going to give up on, who's framed for being brainwashed. Like it seems like he's going through the same things as Captain America did, but like not as cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It kind of seems like a rehashing.
It really is. It's a recap of the other Captain Americas. It's like, yeah, it works here, but like, it also seems just like the Kirkland version of what we already got.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
And
so my one nitpick about this scene, because then we have Cap and Falcon take out the fighter jets, de-escalate the situation.
A very cool scene. I like
it. It was a good action scene. And then
like
with that happening, that kind of like cools Ross down, and he doesn't Hulk out. And it kind of de-escalates all the tension that's around America, Japan, and whatnot. My one nitpick is like, I get he's got this cool super suit, but he's not superhuman, but he fucking plummeted into the middle of the ocean on a fighter jet at supersonic speeds and still just came out totally fine.
Well, he kind of like rodeo wrangled it.
Yeah. No way. He's dead. He's totally dead.
On tech. It takes kinetic energy and it stores it. He's fine.
Yeah, but his helmet wasn't on. Like his head's getting torn off. His neck's broken. Yeah.
All right.
This is my nitpick here.
Keep that same energy in the final scene. He's getting pummeled by the Red Hulk.
We get the new Falcon. Also, he gets like shot down, lands in the ocean, and I guess gets unconscious and has to get rescued.
Well, he goes to blow up the land. So like the Japanese,
the last missile. That's right.
He fires on the American fleet because the brainwashed Americans fired on the Japan fleet, and they send out flares. They kill 2 missiles to get through. Well, Joaquin shoots his like wrist bullets and blows one up, but they miss the other one. So he goes to destroy it, but he's a little too close to it and catches the flak from it, and like he's fucked up, and they have to like go do surgery on him, and he almost dies. And
yeah, he falls into the ocean. They have to go save him. Later, I think these 2 next plot points, I think I have reversed, but some short time after this, we get Cap visiting Falcon in the hospital, and Bucky shows up.
No, so Cap is watching the surgery.
Yes,
and then this has got to be a reshoot because it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
This is the biggest fucking like Bucky shows up and it's like, just stick around. Like Cap, like,
well, they don't know that President Ross is about to Hulk out.
No, but it's like he's around but why isn't he helping? Like he's like, my friend is going through all this shit.
Yeah, that's
not
true.
There, he's just there to give him a pep talk. I liked the scene, like the pep talk, and for once, like the humor in the very serious scene worked for me.
Yeah.
When he gives him the pep talk, he's like, yo, Cap gave people hope, but you give some people something to aspire to because you're just a regular guy doing all of this like irregular stuff.
Yeah.
Which is great. And then Cap is like, would your speechwriters write that for you? And he's like, yeah. And then it because it's like Joaquin's dying on the table. It's a very serious moment. And the levity breaks it up a little bit. And then they come back together and it's like a very poignant moment, but it's also just like, feels like one of those Marvel things where they're like, we need a guy. We need to show somebody. We need that moment where everybody in my theater, everybody went,
yeah,
like
we need that cameo.
Because they did it like they basically like gave it to people in No Way Home and all of those like a Deadpool, Wolverine, and it's like now if people don't get it, the people are going to be mad about it, and it's like, look at this beast we created. You can't just have the movie without having the
yeah, who's showing up?
Like the carrot on the stick in every movie. It doesn't have to be like that.
So this scene happens. I guess I missed this, and I don't know if it was said in the movie or it was implied, or if this actually may have come up in Falcon and Winter Soldier, which I did watch, but it's been so long and I don't remember all of it. But I guess Bucky is running for Congress. He's running to be a senator because he's like, I have campaigning to do. And then he goes to leave, and we'll probably pick this up in Thunderbolts, which is the next movie that's going to come out.
Because you do see him in like a court setting in a suit in the trailer. So
yeah,
I'm assuming they're representing.
So there's that. Now we're back in Washington. Or, I'm sorry. This is also where we find out that the president was taking the gamma pills, which was part of the leader's plan the entire time. Because the leader shows up when. Oh no, we talked about this already. When Ross says the leader saved his life, which is why he's taking the pills. Okay. Back in Washington, before the president goes out to address the nation, he calls Betty, which seems like a kind of an oddly placed scene. Yeah. And because I don't think we talked about this, but Betty Ross, his daughter, hasn't spoken to him in however long, and he became the president because he wants Betty to see that he's a changed man, and he's trying to turn over a new leaf, and that was like his drive the whole movie.
Old Tommy Kimball.
Yeah. So he calls Betty. She finally answers, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so nice to talk to you. Do you think we could go for a walk at the cherry blossoms one day?" Which I guess back in the Incredible Hulk movie, that was also a line back in the movie. where
Maybe I honestly haven't seen it.
yeah, something like that, where like Betty used to go for walks with her father at the cherry blossoms in DC. I don't know. Again, like I enjoy that they do these throwbacks, but it's like you're pulling on things that people don't remember at all. There's like 1%. There's definitely like 1% of nerds who are way nerdier than us that are like, oh my god, he said that back then. But I don't fucking remember that, and I've seen every Marvel movie multiple times.
There's also people seeing this movie that weren't alive in 2008.
That's true.
like there's gonna be people who are like, what is that? People are in their teens seeing this movie who didn't see The Incredible Hulk because it was a movie before they were born.
So Ross finally he goes out to give his address to the nation. Soon we find out that the leader leaked information to the press about
the adamantium thing.
Yeah, the whole adamantium thing. He starts having like heart palpitations. Then we at the same time of this happening, Captain America comes across the leader who's just like hanging out. Like,
yeah, he get this part. He said he had to turn himself in for the next part of his plan to work, but I was like, I don't why.
Also, he's like, he has no hat, or like he had the fedora at the one part. He had the hood. He's just like in a t-shirt or something, like,
well, he said
all
he
green and shit.
Up.
Yeah, okay.
He didn't have to hide, but like, why did he need to give himself? I mean, maybe there's something in there.
He wanted to get captured.
He said he was like, my initial thing was to get him to Hulk out on the ship, but since you stopped that, now I have to turn myself in to continue my plan. Why?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense because he leaks to the press.
He leaked to the press, and then it just plays over the PA system. And I'm like, what part of that needed you in jail?
Yeah. Don't know. Doesn't make any sense. This movie is riddled with plot holes, which I had noticed. So, yeah. And this is one of them. Anyway, we get Ross hulks out at the press conference, which was cool.
He does the thunderclap.
He does. Cool. Then Sam is like, all right, I have to fight him. Takes him to the cherry blossoms.
Well, hold on. Before we get to cherry blossoms, I'm bringing it back.
Go for it.
This reminds me a lot of the Doomsday fight in BVS. I liked it a lot. The helicopter shots of him on top of the White House, and it just had a very like regular man fights giant monsterness to it. Also, comes with a nitpick. Why don't they have better anti-Hulk weapons?
Yeah. This is something I wanted to talk about too. So I get that Falcon's wings are made of vibranium, whatever, but you can't tell me that bullets from the Secret Service aren't piercing the Red Hulk's skin, but vibranium like his vibranium shards from his wings can. I don't know. I just found that dumb.
Bother me much. I could figure because it's like the special metal up until this movie. What bothered me is that they're like, oh, here's an obvious Hulk. Let's shoot rockets at it. When in 2008 they had the sound.
That's
gun.
true.
They
were more well, I think they were more prepared for the Hulk back then. And
why wouldn't they be more prepared for worse things?
That's
because they've had 3 alien invasions. Half of the world died. Like all of these events should have prepared the government for an attack when they're like, oh, we've had a Hulk on our side to know how they function. Like, why isn't there a contingency plan? Worst case, the Hulk goes off the fucking rails. And it's like, they had better guns back then when they didn't know what the fuck a Hulk was. Now they do very well. And like, if Banner's like, all right, if there's ever like a gamma initiated individual, this is how you handle it, blah, blah, blah. They're like, nope, rockets, best we got. Fucking shoot at them.
Maybe they just didn't have it there at the time. Like
the White House, where the one place they should have it.
They're getting it ready. They're getting it prepped.
Any place in the goddamn country that should have it is the fucking White House.
We got to dig that. We got to dig that tech out. It's buried.
Yeah, it's like
buried under our anti-alien tech.
They're like, where's the fucking anti-alien weapons? Shit? It should be stuff that shoots out of the fucking ground like sprinklers. Like this stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think the Red Hulk was a late addition, so they didn't have time to think about it.
The fight scene was really cool. I thought it made the movie. Sam brings him out to the cherry blossoms to have like their final fight. It was very enjoyable. I liked it. And then he kind of just brings him down. He kind of like Natasha, like sun's coming down. Does like that to him.
No, he mentions a loved one. So I
Well,
think it'd be more of the Martha thing.
he mentions his daughter.
Betty.
It's like, what would Betty think? Finally,
He was like, why didn't you say that?
Ross shrinks back down to his normal form.
Definitely didn't have the money to show it because they just showed it through his shadow.
Yeah. But this is the part where it would have made sense to just have the Hulk come in and have like a Hulk on Hulk action, you know?
I did like the bit where he's like, I should have taken that serum. Bucky's full of shit. Like, as he's going face to face with the Hulk with like no tech on. Because the Hulk like crushes his helmet, rips a wing off. But Sam winds up stabbing him in the stomach with one of the remaining wings because he has like
uses the vibranium energy.
Built up kinetic energy. Yeah. But the Hulk is really fucking wailing on him. And to a point, to an unbelievable degree.
Yes.
Like he's just a normal man covered in Wakandan vibranium tech, but he's getting hit by the Red Hulk. Like the Red Hulk is strong.
Yeah.
I think he cracked the earth in half at one point, if I'm not mistaken. Let me do a quick Google. Red Hulk cracks earth in half. How did the Hulk break the world? Oh, it was a regular Hulk. Seeing the world break. Maybe not. But I know he was fucking like at some point stronger than Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
So it's like, and they did keep his like incendiary nature into it because he can't regulate his body temperature because that's why he turns red.
Yeah. And that's how they beat him. Isn't that how they beat him in the comics where they like make him overheat? Yeah.
Yeah. He gets bigger the more heat he extrudes, I think.
Okay.
But then at some point he got too hot and burned out. But like he's strong at his zenith, he's stronger than Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
But he's just wailing on regular ass Sam Wilson. And it's just like, it's getting a little unbelievable. But that's just me and my nitpick brain. In the movie, I was just like, I was just sitting there dumb as a motherfucker, enjoying the shit out of it.
I have some thoughts on this, but we're almost done with the plot, so I'll get to it in my overall thoughts. All right, after this, he gives himself in. Then we see Cap is visiting Joaquin in the hospital. The whole movie, Joaquin has been asking him to tell him how to do his like jump kick thing with the Falcon jetpack. He finally tells him how to do it. They have a moment. I
like the joke here.
What was the joke again?
He's like, I need new Falcon tech because my wings are broken.
Yes.
Can you ask the Wakandans for a hookup? But he's like, you want a Wakandan hookup? That is the most Miami thing you could possibly say because Joaquin Torres is from Miami.
Yeah.
And it was a funny line. Like, I'm usually a curmudgeon-y, like, I don't want comedy in my comic book movies, but this worked for me and I liked it a lot. I really like Joaquin Torres. I'm glad he's going to be sticking around. He's a good addition as the Falcon.
I like him as New Falcon, and actually he becomes like an actual bird person in the Marvel Comics universe, like an actual Falcon.
I hope they don't do that. Please don't. I'm giving you a lot of leash here because I hate DC. I want to like something. I'm just giving Marvel a little too much leash. Maybe if he turned into a bird person, I'm gonna go back the other way. I'm like, fuck this, I'm out.
Isaiah gets out of prison, and now we're back at the Raft. The Raft, which is the prison that holds all the superpowered individuals. We see that they're keeping General Ross there. Sam visits. Ross appears to have actually changed. Like he asks if Isaiah gets out. He's like, yeah, he's out. He's like, thank you. All right, good.
Finally, you realize that he is a good guy now.
Yeah. And then Sam's like, you have another visitor. Fucking Liv Tyler walks in. Betty Ross. She's like, hi, Dad. We get
these movies.
Real quick cameo.
Tyler.
Say that again. You cut out there.
Only movies like this, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like nerds are popping for Liv Tyler.
Yeah.
Like she's just a lady. Like
she still looks great. She's like in her 50s, I think.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, looks fantastic.
She's an elf, right? With Aaron Gordon and stuff. She's staying on age.
Okay, then we get the post-credit scene which is the leader, like a couple cells down, basically at the raft, and he's just like,
Harrison Ford's like, "Hey, bitch!" Like, it's like dog shit to him.
and he's like, you don't know what's coming. Like they're coming, they're all coming. You don't know what's coming. And I'm assuming this is for
Lex Luthor.
that's why you like this movie. It's just
and
very
it can't be
reminiscent.
unrung. The bell's already been rung, and it can't be unrung. Tell me it's not like the dude who directed this who's like, I'm a BBS fan. There's beats in this that are just like BBS.
So yes, and this is definitely a nod to, I think, Secret Wars, where we're just going to get a ton of characters from different universes. And so that
won't get me see it all.
Yeah, not at all. That's Captain America, Brave New World. Scott, now that we are done with the plot, give me your thoughts on the movie, what you liked, what you didn't like about it.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I said, I turned my brain off. I'm going to see if I read through all my nitpicks in there. Yeah, you can see the Serpent Society reshoots. It felt like a Hulk movie. They should have better Hulk weapons. Yeah, like other than the nitpicks, like that I didn't clock during the movie, like if you go into it not like trying to uncover every rock and looking for every little thing wrong with it, I enjoyed it. It had heart because Sam's fighting for his friend. It had good action. It had cool tie-ins to the Celestials and Incredible Hulk from 2008. And honestly, what more do you look for in these fucking movies? Like, I don't go into these movies expecting a deep, rich tapestry of stuff anymore because that's what jaded me to this stuff in the first place. I had, like I said, I had a love of something, and then I expected it in this, and I never got the same thing as I got from DC as in Marvel, and I was just like, well, this sucks. But like, when you like, this is what you get out of these movies, and this is what you have been, and you've been getting a lot worse leading up to this out of this franchise.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
The bar was,
I don't know about a lot worse, but we've gotten worse.
I mean, leading up to this, like a lot of the movies that have come out have been kind of stinkers or like spectacle in the theater stuff that does not rewatch well. Like Deadpool Wolverine was great in the theater, but while rewatching that movie, I would rather not to bury the lead again, but I would rather rewatch this than Deadpool Wolverine.
That's a bold statement. I would not at all.
It's just Deadpool Wolverine hinges on its surprises, and this feels like a movie. Deadpool Wolverine feels like a commercial.
As you're not, I don't even think this feels like a movie. So I'm souring more on this movie the more that I think about it, and the more the longer that it sits with me. And especially because it's like, what was this movie, right? Like, so the Serpent Society was all reshoots. Giancarlo Esposito was added as reshoots. He wasn't initially in the movie. There's the rumors that the Red Hulk wasn't supposed to be in this movie, right? So like, if that's the case, what the fuck was the movie? Because there's like, the Red Hulk scene, take the Red Hulk scene out, and this movie might be the worst movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, in my opinion.
I think this movie suffers from being it's coming at a crossroads where they changed their mind at what they wanted to do. Because I honestly think,
but I don't see, and I don't know if there's just a lot of stuff that's left on the cutting room floor. I just don't see what this was without the reshoots and without the Red Hulk, because who is he fighting? Like what's happening? Is, I guess, Samuel Stearns is still the clear villain, but it just feels like they just threw a bunch of different shit together and then just cut it up together in a movie, and it's kind of all over the place, and there's a lot of plot holes, and it kind of just feels like plot device after plot device after plot device.
I think that this movie, you will never know what it initially was supposed to be, because I think it was probably in development before the Fox acquisition.
Yeah.
As far as they have to load these shits up for years, right? And they had a treatment, and then they had some kind of like pre-production was already started on it. And I honestly think that the Celestial wasn't in it at first because it's made out of adamantium.
Yeah.
Like all of the new stuff, this movie is unfortunately, it's just a vessel to kind of like nudge the ship a little bit.
Definitely.
It's not a course correct move, but it's like, all right, we have to start leaning this way. And unfortunately, this movie looks like it was a victim of like, it was something else, completely different. No Red Hulk, no adamantium. Serpent Society was like, initially before they got the Fox stuff, they were probably heading in one direction.
Yeah.
And now they were like, all right, we have this whole treasure chest of stuff. How do we unlock it? And little by little, they had to start adjusting what they had. And this was like one of those things. But it's like, I don't think we can ding it on what it was supposed to be, because what it was supposed to be is just never going to be exist.
That's fair.
What they did with it and where they started leading the timeline of what's happening, it works. Like so a lot of stuff in the Marvel Cinematic Universe just is this filler stuff.
Yes.
Right? There's movies that are just like, all right, that was a movie, but it advanced the overall plot of the universe. Not necessarily a great individual story, but as a sum of its parts, it's a necessary thing.
Yeah.
This is one of those, it's like an Ant-Man type of thing, right? Like, it's just like, it's all right. But like, when you take a 30,000 foot view of it, it's like, all right, you couldn't get to where you are now without that piece. And I think it's just one of these pieces where it's just like, all right, this is where we discover adamantium. And I feel like that was the whole reason why this is a movie.
Yeah. To me, it literally, this is a sequel to The Incredible Hulk. It's not really a Cap sequel. It's a sequel to The Incredible Hulk featuring Sam Wilson. And
I think that.
Yeah, that's how it felt. And I enjoy I don't think it's nearly as bad as people make that movie out to be.
The Incredible Hulk?
Yeah, The Incredible Hulk. Like, people don't like that movie.
Who the fuck makes that out to be a bad movie?
A lot of people. Like, it's like on the bottom of people's lists for the MCU. And
I hate these fucking nerds, man. God damn.
I think it's a lot better than people give it. I don't think it's like top tier, but I definitely think it's somewhere in the middle and not as bad as some of the other things we've gotten. And I don't know.
I don't think I can name 10 movies in the MCU that are better.
Oh, wow. Yes, I can. And we'll do that. But you're in the minority on that one. I will definitely tell you that.
I mean, I haven't seen a lot though. I was pretty out of it.
I mean, I think I like The Incredible Hulk more than the first Avenger, and I'm in the minority on that one. But
that's an ice cold take. The first Avenger did not age well.
It did.
Oh wait, are you talking about Captain America or the first Avenger?
No, Captain America, the first Avenger, not the Avengers.
I'm talking about the Avengers.
No, the Avengers is definitely better. But anyway, before we get into this debate here, I do enjoy that they did callbacks to The Incredible Hulk, because it's kind of like the redheaded stepchild of the Marvel universe that like no one really likes to talk about.
Bring back Edward Norton. Do it. That should be the cameo.
So I enjoyed that. I do think it's very bold of them, though, to have all of these callbacks to The Incredible Hulk and have callbacks to, I know people have been asking about the Celestial, so that's why they had to do that. But for two movies that did not perform as well as Marvel had anticipated, to take these movies and be like, yeah, this is going to be a sequel to those. Like I
just doubled up because to get two birds with one stone, and just like, we'll have one bomb rather than multiple.
Yeah.
So they just like loaded all the
let's just get it out in this movie. Yeah, exactly. So that was some of my takeaways. I just overall though, I feel like it was just thrown together. I feel like it was forced at times. When I left the movie theater, I was like, that was fine. And the more I think about it, the more I dislike it. I do think it really hinged on that Red Hulk scene that like made the movie. And then again, the end credits just felt like they were kind of playing it safe. And I'm also over, I know they've planned this out, the whole multiverse thing, but I'm fucking over it. Like, can we move? It has kind of in Multiverse of Madness, in Loki, in Deadpool and Wolverine, in Spider-Man. Like, they've had multiple movies to do this now, and I'm just move on. Let's get to something else. But I know that we have a lot of multiverse stuff coming up. So, okay.
In the Wars, they're gonna close the multiverse.
I fucking hope so.
and then everything in this Marvel world will be in this Marvel world. Like the Fantastic Four are
They'll
gonna show up.
Yeah, they'll be here. X-Men.
Galactus will win in that movie, and they'll show up through the multiversal bridge as it collapses behind them.
That would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, Galactus is gonna eat their world as they fucking fuck off, and then they have to deal with the fact that they like lost their world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be cool. And I'm really excited for Fantastic Four. I think that's going to be.
You can't, and he has to win. You can't, like,
I know.
Kang, Ant-Man beats him, and then whatever.
All right. So, real quick, we're going to get into just some trivia from the movies, from the movie. And then I have another little segment that we'll do, and then we will review it. So, and by review it, I mean we'll give it a score. So, trivia. One poster features Sam blocking the Red Hulk's punch with his shield, which is, I think, probably like the most popular poster for the movie. This is an homage to the cover of Captain America number 230, which was released in 1979, drawn by Ron Wilson. It has been confirmed that Cersei turned the Celestial Tiamat into adamantium. So I'm assuming that means the whole thing is made of adamantium. Like I don't know. Like the whole Celestial just got turned into
she in order to stop him, she turned him into this unbreakable metal.
I'm assuming. Yeah, I don't know. Because they left that very vague. But if that's the case, then like there's a lot of adamantium because this thing's an island. So I kind of hope that's not the case. But this is from via IMDb.
Well, maybe it's hard to mine, so there might be a lot of it, but it's hard to like manipulate.
Yeah,
you have to superheat it, right?
And it's like, well, according to X-Men 2, it's very hard to find in its molten form.
It's just a big man in the
it's right there. There it is.
Hard to find.
I wanted to bring this up too. So Japan is like high on this. This is not part of trivia. This is part of my thoughts. Japan is like vying for this. I don't know if maybe they discovered it or something, and why they're like number one of why they have like first piece of the cake. But do you think this is setting up Silver Samurai? Because his whole suit is made of adamantium, if I recall correctly.
I'm sure that guy is going to be Silver Samurai or something. But there's so much more shit you got to get to before you get to Silver Samurai. Like, I know. I just thought of, all right, well, Japan, Silver Samurai, adamantium. Yeah, just like, connecting the dots here.
Yeah,
when is that going to show up, right?
Yeah.
Secret War, I don't know.
And in 10 years from now, when we're still doing this show and Silver Samurai shows up and they have a flashback to Captain America Brave New World, I'm going to pop off.
How long was 2008 ago? That's too long. Was it 20?
It's almost 20 years ago. 17 years ago? Jesus.
17, yeah. So 17 years from now when they do Captain America 9 and Silver Samurai shows up.
In Captain America Civil War, Ross is taking heart medication because he recently had a heart attack.
Oh.
Yeah. Right. I thought that was very interesting of like, oh, there's a callback that like I didn't recognize. And now going back to Civil War, like I do like when they pay attention to detail there, where it's like if I go watch Civil War tomorrow and General Ross is like, I just had my heart attack or whatever. It's like, oh, so they were kind of setting this up back then, maybe, or either that or they just kind of connected the dots themselves.
They were just like, ooh, heart problem.
And then the last bit of trivia, William Mark McCullough was cast as Dennis Dunphy, which we already talked about, who is Demolition Man, also known as D-Man. Okay, Scott.
Yes.
I know that you liked this. I think we're going to have very different answers here, but this is the section I wanted to call, is it better than, or would you rather watch? Where I'm going to take some lower ranked movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, low to mid tier movies in the MCU, and ask if you would rather watch that or this movie.
Okay.
So, would you rather watch Captain America, Brave New World, or The Incredible Hulk?
Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, that's an easy one for me. I would definitely rather watch Incredible Hulk. Would you rather watch Captain America, Brave New World, or Eternals?
Eternals.
I would rather watch Brave New World.
I loved Eternals.
I know you did. Would you rather watch Captain America, Brave New World, or Black Widow?
Cap, easy.
Black Widow for me.
I
Yeah, and that's an easy choice. I thought that was a way better movie.
couldn't get through. I could not get through Black Widow.
Really?
I fall asleep every time.
I thought Black Widow was great. Captain America: Brave New World or Thor: Blood and Thunder?
Cap. I fucking hate the Thor movies.
Is it Blood and Thunder? It's Love and Thunder. Sorry, not Blood and Thunder.
Yeah.
Love and
That would be cooler. Thor 3 and 4 are awful. So I fucking hate them.
I mean, I love Ragnarok, but I think I'd rather watch this than Love and Thunder. Love and Thunder wasn't that good. Well, we agreed on Incredible Hulk too. Yeah. Captain America: Brave New World or Iron Man 3?
Cap.
I would also rather watch this over Iron Man 3. I do not like Iron Man 3. I think we're in the minority on that one. I think people would prefer that. Captain America: Brave New World or Iron Man 2?
Cap. The Iron Man sequels are really weak for me.
I would much rather watch Iron Man 2. I like Iron Man 2 way more than Iron Man 3. Justin Hammer. He got Justin Hammer. The introduction of Black Widow. You get fucking Rhodey for the first time in the suit. I think that movie is very underrated.
I think Iron Man 2 and 3 were like where Marvel started eating its own tail for me. It's just like, I can't.
3 was bad. Would you rather watch Captain America: Brave New World or Captain America: The First Avenger?
I do a double feature. I think that's the level for me. I liked Cap 1. I know you notoriously don't.
I don't.
It's like montage the movie, but
it is montage the movie.
I don't know. That's like a quirky little like time capsule feel to it. I don't know. I think that movie is one of those movies. It's like the linchpin movies where it has to happen.
I'd rather watch Cap 1. That's how I feel about this movie.
You like this less than Cap 1?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a lot.
But I liked it more than Eternals. I think Eternals is the only. Oh no, Love and Thunder. So of those movies, Eternals and Love and Thunder, I think I'd put below Cap.
I think Eternals is like in the top 6.
Yeah, I know you do.
I love that movie.
We could keep going, but that's what I have. Unless there's any other MCU movies you want to call out and ask me on.
Yeah, I know there's not going to be like a hot take because like I've always said Avengers, the first one. I would rather watch this than Avengers.
What?
I don't understand. When is the last time
I'm gonna throw up?
When is the last time you watched that movie?
It's been a minute.
It does not age well. It's not a good movie.
The whole New York scene, the fight scene that lasts like forever when New York's being invaded. Come on.
It's so fucking quippy. It's not.
I'd rather watch Age of Ultron over this.
Oh my god! All right, we got to differ on that one. Like, I think the first Avengers movie does not hold up at all.
I don't know. I mean, it's been a minute since I've seen it, but I can't imagine it's worse than this movie. This movie was so thrown together. I don't know. I don't like it. But anyway.
It has more heart than the first event. The first Avengers is like it hinges on the shock and awe of seeing all these people on the same screen at one time. And we've been seeing that for 20 years. So it's been done better and it doesn't hold up. And Joss Whedon's writing sucks ass. So
there it is. That's why you're
well, I don't like Joss Whedon. That's not a shock. I didn't like him before a lot of things, but like that movie does not hold up at all.
Okay.
All sucks because it's the same. Watch the first one, and it's the same suckiness that made Ultron bad.
Let's moving on then. Finally, giving it a review score. Scott, would you score this 1 out of? So let's go 1 out of 10.
1 out of 10. I'd say it's a solid 7.5.
I'm gonna give it a 5. Yeah. You're muted or for something.
Hello.
Okay.
Say I was just low.
Okay.
No, but I mean, like I could, yeah, fine. Give it a 5, but like, it's
maybe 5.5.
Better than middle of the road. I think there's
take Red Hulk out of this movie, and it's a 2.
The characters are charming and they interact well. The action is fun. Like, that's like, what do you go to a movie for?
Yeah, but I don't know. It just felt too thrown together at the last minute for me, and the plot.
I think they did enough to, yeah, there's plot holes, sure. But there's plot holes in all these fucking things.
There are.
You can literally sit down in every single movie, the best movie in the MCU. You can pop in Winter Soldier and nitpick the shit out of it if you wanted to, but you don't because it's cool. And there's cool parts of it and enough to make me ignore the.
Maybe in the future we'll do an actual re-ranking or something of the MCU movies.
Yeah, we should do a blind we each rank them and then see or discrepancies.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, that is our review for Captain America: Brave New World. Before we go, we now currently have 3 active series on this channel. This one is spoiler warning. This is really just our current review schedule. So we'll be reviewing like the top blockbuster movies that are coming out, anything comic related, any other top blockbustery type of movie, maybe like the next Jurassic World or something like that. I don't know. And then we also have our Bad Friends Good Movies podcast.
Nope. Wait.
I'm sorry.
Fuck, no.
Fuck you. This movie was great. I'm sorry. Good friends, bad movies.
Or is there a way of telling me you don't like me?
It's Good Friends, Bad Movies podcast, where we watch a terrible movie and then we review it. That one we also will clip in some of our initial reactions from the movie, and you can also see our reactions that we'll be posting on YouTube Shorts as well as TikTok. So go follow us over there. We have one episode out right now, which is Captain America from 1990. Go watch it or go listen to it if you're on podcast platforms. We had a blast watching this movie. It is one of the worst movies we've ever seen. And on our review schedule next, we will be watching on Good Friends Bad Movies. We will be watching Daredevil. And then we also just released a retro games series called Arcade Economy, where I take a look at old arcade games and determine how much money it would have cost you if you were going to the arcade to beat them. We started with Captain America and the Avengers, which came out in 1991. So check that out. I'll also be reviewing more of those as, different media releases that kind of ties into old arcade games. And if there's anything else you guys would like to see from us, please just shoot us a shout out in the comments. Let us know what you're thinking, and we'll definitely take that into consideration. Outside of that,
expand out Good Friends Bad Movies. I think if we have time, we might do Punisher and Elektra based on Daredevil coming out.
And Daredevil. Well, yeah. So Punisher, Daredevil, and Elektra.
Because the Daredevil Born Again series is going to come out, which we'll also review. And then April-ish, beginning of May, we're going to do Super Mario Brothers because I live in Florida now. There's a new theme park opening up with Super Mario World in it. So we're going to review that. And coupled with, nice segue, my other YouTube channel.
I was getting to that.
Nah, don't worry. I took the reins, baby. If you made it this far, we appreciate you listening. And I would also appreciate if you go over to YouTube, Dish Upon a Bar. My wife and I have a YouTube vlog channel where we do Central Florida theme park stuff. And we will be in the new theme park opening day for Super Mario World and all that fun stuff. So if you want to check out that and what that's like and all the games and stuff involved in that.
When you dish upon a bar.
Exactly. We do food and beverage and park updates and all this other stuff from there where we do little gimmicky games and stuff. We have coming up soon, we're doing a food hack video where we take we make different food items out of the menu items from the park and then have our friends judge them.
Nice.
So you take a donut from Lard Lads and you put chicken fingers on it and the green cheese from the Shrek pretzel, and then you make a sandwich and you call it whatever.
Sounds delicious.
It's like the Mick Gangbang, but Shrek. It had Shreks. The donut and the chicken finger had Shreks, and you put it together. So yeah, check that out.
Yeah, check Scott out over there. Follow us on all socials. Before we get out of here, I'll just give you a quick recap of our release schedule coming up. For spoiler alert, wow, the next actual movie So we may be reviewing Daredevil episodes, but I'm not sure 100% if that's going to happen. So as that comes out, we might do the weekly Daredevil reviews. Potential maybe for Alien Earth 2, or maybe we just do a final seasonal review. Yeah. So stay tuned there. But the next movie is actually Superman, which I know.
Thunderbolts?
Oh, it's Thunderbolts. You're right. The next movie is Thunderbolts. So it'll be Thunderbolts and then Superman, which, Scott, I know you're very excited for.
Oh, you're going to have to do a solo review on that one, baby. I'm not seeing that.
Can't leave me hanging here.
I'll pretend I saw it then.
And then we have Fantastic Four, First Steps. We have Mortal Kombat 2.
And we have Jurassic Park before Superman.
Jurassic Park as well. I'm sorry, that wasn't initially in the show doc, but throw that in there. And Predator Badlands. For our good friends bad movie reviews, we will be reviewing Daredevil, potentially Elektra, Punisher Warzone, Doom with The Rock to coincide with the release of Doom: The Dark Ages, Alien Resurrection to coincide with the release of Alien Earth, Superman 4: The Quest for Peace. I've actually never seen it, but I heard it's really bad.
Me neither. That might be another Captain America 1990s situation.
The unreleased Fantastic Four movie from the 90s, which did get released a few years ago, I believe. Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Oh, that's gonna be great.
We're gonna do one of the. I actually haven't seen either of the Jurassic World sequels, so to coincide with the new Jurassic World, I guess we'll have to do one of them.
We'll see which one's the worst one.
I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to watch both of them because I haven't seen either, and we're working our way up to the new one, which I'm also not really excited about. But for the show, I will do it. God damn it. And then we also have The Predator to coincide with Predator Badlands, which is a horrendous movie. So, any suggestions of things we should add? I know a few people have added their own suggestions. When it slows down, we'll probably watch some other things. Someone suggested Howard the Duck, which I think would be a fantastic Good Friends Bad Movies. I didn't say Super Mario Brothers, but that's also going to happen in August. So, and that's the original 90s Super Mario Brothers movie, not the new CGI, like Pixar-ish or DreamWorks, whoever does it. Super Mario.
Illumination.
Illumination, yes. So, with that, thank you guys for watching. Please give a follow, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Scott, is there anything else you'd like to tell the good people at home?
Nope, I yapped enough.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We will see you next time.
Stay nerdy, baby. Bye.